For a sectional 19, a lot of eyes are going to be on this one because, boy, when they put out the bracket, we were like, this has got a lot of intrigue pretty much on every level. Southside fell to East Noble, so you've got East Noble versus Leo, Dwenger versus Wayne. I want to talk about East Noble Leo first. That's going to be our highlight zone game of the week. You could argue it was one of the best games, or if not the best game of the regular season. Way back in week 5 when it was 35-29 at Leo. It's going to be at Leo a second time. Normally they play it like...
Right, it's back and forth, right?
Yeah, but like, I mean, it was absolutely packed then. I can't imagine it isn't going to be even more packed this time around. How do you see this one playing out now that both teams have seen each other and seemingly are playing their best football at the right time of the season?
They are. I think thing that pops into my head immediately for Leo is they felt like they let one get away against East Noble. They felt that one was taken away from them at Columbia City, and they've wanted to play both teams at some point in this sectional. They don't have to worry about Columbia City, but they get East Noble, and it's almost become a tradition for these teams to meet in the postseason. We see them twice every year, it seems like, the last several years, and a lot of those years one team wins in the regular season, the other one gets revenge in the playoffs. So where is Leo at? I think that's revenge on their mind. And can they channel that emotion positively? And then conversely, I think East Noble, we still look at that and be like, yeah, Dylan Krell's really good. Other than that, like, it's just a bunch of dudes. And that's not a knock on them. It's just how balanced they are, right? And so I think that's the thing when you look at East Noble is you're like, okay, Dylan Krell's doing his thing, but Riley Biddle has found a way to really open up the offense the last 3 or 4 weeks. And it's just a team that keeps winning.
They remind me a lot of the team that Luke Amstutz had that went to the 4A state championship not all that long ago. They had Bailey Parker as the Superman of the quarterback, but everyone else around him, I guess Hood, there aren't a lot of 6'9" offensive linemen, but there were just so many really solid high school football players. And that reminds me of their roster now where you're just like, there might not be a Division I superstar there, but there aren't a lot of holes.
Exactly.
Because they're really good. And with Leo, the one thing that strikes me is that game against East Noble in week 5. That was really Grayson Esquera's first big game.
Sure.
And he played all right.
Right.
He's got a lot more under his belt now.
Right.
And that makes them more dangerous. And also, you obviously are not going to be punting to Landon Hebner. Is that,
right. Yeah. Let's not do that.
Let's not do that.
I still say that this sectional comes down to the quarterback play in the sense that which one of them makes plays when they're asked to, doesn't make mistakes, keeps it clean, and lets maybe other guys do the brunt work of everything. And so you look at it, Riley Biddle, don't turn the ball over. Like Grayson Esquera, don't turn the ball over. Make some plays when you need to. I really think that's what's going to decide this sectional. It could very well decide this game.
Yeah, and I guess Grayson Esquera in week 1, they did play Lures, but that was kind of, we didn't know what to expect from anybody at that point. So, I mean, the first big game where the pressure was on, I think.
Especially conference, it's a little different.
Right. Bishop Dwenger, my goodness. My goodness, Saints.
All those people waiting to jump on Jason Garrett, have to take a step back after what they did on Friday.
My. I guess not necessarily surprised that Dwenger won. I would have said that's a 50-50 game. I probably would have picked Columbia City in a tight one. I would have been way wrong. My goodness, 38-0 against Columbia City. Now they face a Wayne team that won 36-7. Wayne seems to be getting a little more comfortable with Harold Mack at the quarterback position. They seem to be expanding the offense a little bit each and every week. But it wasn't that Dwenger won, it was the way they won.
Right.
So what impressed you about Bishop Dwenger that can make them, a team that advances to a sectional championship and maybe beats Wayne this week?
Well, it was a good matchup for Bishop Dwenger, first of all, is we know the strength of Columbia City was coming into that game, rushing for over 290 yards a game, and we felt, looking at Bishop Dwenger's defense, that it was the strength of this unit. We didn't expect the dominance that we saw, but you also looked at it and say, yeah, it's kind of strength on strength, and Dwenger was able to really instill its will. Early couple fumbles turned into touchdowns. It was 21-0 before you even blinked, and by then Columbia City was done for. Now you look at it, we have the beauty of, with the new schedule, these two teams that didn't play in the regular season, so we don't have a reference point to fall back on. But we do look at, say, Wayne, athletically, do they match up a little bit better with Bishop Dwenger? Can they maybe stretch the field a little bit better than what Columbia City was able to do? But conversely, you look at up front with Wayne's offensive line and you say, can they hold up against a very aggressive Bishop Dwenger front seven? And I think that's the key. Harold Mack was moved back to quarterback because of his ability to make plays. can he make enough plays vertically for the Generals to have a shot?
And the one thing about Dwenger defensively, this has been their MO forever, they're very sound.
Very much so.
So they're not going to give up a lot of crazy plays. You would think they stay home. They understand their assignments. They're a very solid, well-coached football team. And Harold Mack is the opposite of that. He makes you make mistakes. So
absolutely.
I'm interested to see how that plays out on Friday. A healthy Kamar Nelson certainly is something
that would help, yes.
That would help Sherwood Haydock, and I know he's looking forward to. I want to talk about Huntington North.
Let's do it.
I think the word is just in, they just scored again. 77-8. We knew Frankfurt, all due respect to the Hot Dogs, they were not a very good football team.
Winless.
They were winless coming in, and they put the mustard on the hot dogs. I'll tell you that. This was never. Now they've got Marion this week. Marion's rested up for a week. Their record isn't bad. They're 5-4. They got to come to Huntington North, though, where they are feeling real good about where they're at this point in the season.
I look at it similar to maybe the Week 3 game we saw Northrop come in, and it was a very dynamic offense with Northrop, and it presented a big different challenge for Huntington North than they're traditionally used to. And Huntington North was able to really combat that and make plays. And I look at Marion as a better version of Northrop, and they have some players offensively, but it just feels like that's why you look at Huntington North. That's why you play those non-conference games, Week 2, to take on Northrop, is to prepare for a potential game with Marion. I just think Huntington North's running game and Tony Decker there running the offense is just going to be too much. And, are we looking at an 8-win Huntington North team if they can win on Friday? Why not?
Why not?
Let's do it. Why not?
It's beautiful.
It's great.
People have jumped on the bandwagon, and I love it. I love it when there's a team that we don't expect.
Right.
A team or two in a season that it makes us look like idiots at the beginning of the year. But it's so much fun to see a program that maybe hasn't had a lot of wins finally put it all together and do this. It's cool.
Yeah, it's we love all teams, but the SAC Lures makes a run, but they're used to it. DeWanger, Snyder, Adams Central's almost reached that point. But when you have seasons like this where Garrett has done what they've done, and we knew they were going to be good, but not 10-0 good, and you have Huntington North doing this, and it galvanizes the entire community. It just feels different. I think that's what hits with high school football, is it's different when some of these community-based schools have seasons like this. It just feels different, man. It's fun.
When I think of that, I think of South Adams a few years ago.
Yeah.
When Grant Mosier turned that program, because they had been really bad for a while.
Yeah.
And then it was like they got the win over #1 Woodland, and that kind of gave them the confidence, and then the ship turned, and then all of a sudden they're in the state championship game. And Starfire Field was the place to be.
Oh, absolutely.
So that's cool.